What's good, folks? I want to point out something to Kirk's point. Check this out. See this toolbox back here? It was just given to me, and it's got two more layers. It's one of those stand-up kind that you roll in your garage. That's the main base of it, and then it's got the two smaller pieces that both stack on top of it. So I just got a free rolling toolbox. First time I've ever had one of those. So behind me is this shelf. A guy paid me $20. This guy right here paid me $20 to roll it, to haul it off for him. And so if you look in his garage, he's got this big $600 Christmas tree. It's in great shape. He's moving, and he's paying me $20 to haul off that Christmas tree Sunday, and so I can just sell it on Marketplace, maybe get it sold for, I don't know, if it's a $600 tree, then maybe for, I'd want to get rid of it quickly, so I might sell it for like $100 or something. But anyways, so the house right behind me, the driveway I'm backing up into, next door to the guy with the house with the Christmas tree that I'm backing up into right now. I've done work on his yard. He helped me get a deal with his truck, with this truck. His family owned a dealership, a Chevrolet dealership, even though it's a Ford, and that's his house right there. And then as we pass by, we're going to see this blue house. All right, that's his wife waving at me. But I did work at that blue house, and then as we pass by this house right here next to it with the brown garage door and the brick and the stone layout, that's my regular customer. I do hers the most, and I've known her for 5 years. And then this greenhouse right here, I put down some landscape borders on that house. This is all in one neighborhood. And the one with the Christmas tree, I'm coming back Sunday to do a small mulch for him for a couple $100. And then at that house, I briefly mowed at the house I'm showing right now. I did her briefly, and then she was trying to like sucker me into doing her yard every 2 weeks for $30 or $30 a cut. And I'm like, lady, I'm not doing no $30 a cut lawn service. Long story on that, or little complicated story on that. But anyways, so then the people that helped me get the truck just now, the people that helped me, they kind of helped me with this truck, getting this truck right. There's no way I could have went to a dealership and said, oh, let me put a down payment on this truck, right? But this truck is fully paid for. But anyways, without going into all the details, they were a blessing, right? And so Kirk is right to his assessment, and I meant to say in my video earlier today. I need to get off of this. I meant to say in my video earlier today that what is today? Today's Monday. I'm getting my days confused. Sorry about that. Anyways, I meant to say, okay, let me get my thoughts together. My bad. I gotta pause it. Okay, I remember what I was going to say. If someone is struggling in poverty, they'll tell you, like, go work hard and get a good job and work really hard and pull yourself out of poverty. But the real truth of the matter of poverty is, especially if you're young and you're in poverty, like you're a young person, just starting off in life. I'm not normally the type to give advice, but if I did have some advice to give, like a young person that's in poverty, is they'll tell you to go work hard, and you're going to look for a job working for somebody else. First of all, your circumstance is going to be context dependent. It's unique. It's a unique circumstance all in its own. So one thing might apply to one person in poverty, and another thing might apply to another person in a whole different way. And working a job, working for somebody else, may not necessarily pull you out of the poverty. And so one person, it might be better if they don't work for anybody at all, and they just go work for yourself, right? Go work for yourself. If you, but then another person, you might be in a situation where maybe you could go get like a part-time job somewhere, like maybe work part-time at Taco Bell, like work 20 hours a week, and then go do your business on the side, right? Either way, the way out of the poverty is creating the network that you don't have. The reason why you're in poverty is because you don't have a network. If you had a network, assuming that you're an actual good hard worker, someone that actually is dedicated to putting your life together, the best thing you can do is go work for yourself. Bypass all the clocking in as much as possible. Clocking in for other men. I don't care if it's a fast food restaurant, a warehouse, a landscaping company, construction company, being a cleaner. I don't care what it is. You are way better off working for yourself other than work for other people. You're going to be way better off because you need the connections and the network, right? And the way to build that won't be working for other people. You'll be stuck working around your employees, your fellow employees all the time. And most of the time, don't get me wrong, there's people that are working as employees right now, and on the side, they've got like a side gig, or they're working towards something that's, they are working towards something to take them out of. I met a guy at the grocery store, and he told me that he's working 2 jobs, and he's got a business idea. He told me about his business idea, and he said he just can't find the money for it. And I'm not the type to be like, oh, well, I'm in business, so let me give you some of my wisdom. I didn't do that at all. I just said, well, I know a place for entrepreneurs in Rock Hill where I live, and if you can meet up, network with them, and you might be able to find investors there. That's all I said. And I gave him the name of the place. He wrote it down. Simple as that. I'm not going to try to. I've learned not to try to convince people to go work for themselves. Now, when I get on my videos here, the way I'll talk, I might talk like I'm saying but I might kind of like sort of push the idea, but I think that's different than, I think that's different than like really getting into somebody's, space and trying to like tell them, oh, this is what you need to do, and that's the last thing people want, right? But if you're poor, it's probably because you don't have the right network. You might have a network of people surrounding you, but you may not have the right network, and your fellow employees they're not striving, most of them are not striving for something beyond just being clocked in at that place, because they want to clock out and then go consume and escape their reality, because frankly they've been taught that that is life, and that's just all life is. Just be happy where you're at and don't try to pursue anything else. You know, that's your lot in life. That's the message. That's the mainstream message, especially for poor people. Like, look, this is your lot in life. Just learn to be happy where you're at, and contentment, and blah blah blah. And it's just a reason to rationalize away any of your dreams. And then a lot of the time, people that do stuff like that, say stuff like that, like my old best friend, basically that was the idea he was pitching. You know, basically this is where you're at in life, and so you should just learn to be happy with it and accept, you know, and if you get lucky along the way, good, but if not, find the peace and contentment and kumbaya. You know, there's a difference between being in a content spot in your life and being complacent. Okay, most of the time people live in fear, and they don't want to step outside of their comfort zone, right? And that's basically all it is. And those people are the same people who preach that kind of like contentment type of thing, and which is really complacency. They're not legitimately trying to offer you any kind of legitimate, advice or words of encouragement. They're trying to like pull you back down to their level, basically. You know, it's a conformist bubble they're trying to pull you back down into, right? So yeah, so that's the truth on that. And however, you know, you need to build a network up, because you don't have a good, healthy network. You want to get away from all the people that don't think like, as weird as this may sound, some people might disagree with me, but it's like a segregated reality. Like, it's almost like business people can hardly commingle with, like, business people can hardly commingle with people that are not business people. And the fun part about that is that those people that are not in that mindset, or one, they think it's like this huge, complex thing, ambiguous thing, and you know, they're programmed and brainwashed. But that's one thing, right? Those people. And but the fun thing is, they could do it too. They could start. Just start. Even if you don't have the money, just starting by learning about what to do. And don't even think of it as some big, complex thing, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Perhaps you want to open up a hospital, right? Because hospitals are businesses, okay? I mean, personally, my mental limitation says that would be a hard thing to do. But then again, you know, because certain hospitals have monopolies, certain brands have monopolies in the, you know, in that space, probably. And I have no clue how that industry works. It's an industry. It is a business. Hospitals are just a business. Now, functionally, remember, everything's an illusion. they cross and overlap with, those places cross and overlap with hold on, I'm gonna go around this curve, make sure nothing falls out of my truck. Okay, so those places cross and overlap with being nothing. Everything's an illusion. Everything is just a business. Even government, in some way, is just it's just the collective agreed upon business that we're all doing. We all agree to let people run our country, which is a business in and of itself. But that's a little meta within terms of navigating reality as far as living within the infrastructure of, reality within a capitalistic society, So it's all an illusion, and hospitals will have agreements with governments and government agencies about certain things. That hospital can sign government contracts with governments to provide certain services. For example, you got hospitals or doctor's offices that take Medicaid patients, right? And that doctor's office is an independently owned doctor who started a doctor business. He's the doctor, and his office takes Medicaid, right? Maybe he's got doctors working for him, or maybe the owner isn't even a doctor at all, and he's just the guy with the money, right? I don't know. It's not impossible, but I'm just saying that's one of those, to be a doctor, to open up a doctor's office or a hospital, that may be like one of those things that may be like a huge undertaking that might be virtually impossible, but who knows, right? If you craft the right business plan and you got the right ideas and some kind of innovative way to craft a hospital and open one, perhaps you could go to some investors, and investors are simply and only men and women or people who have capital, and capital just means they have money. They've got money to throw at stuff to see if they can make a profit off of it. So I'm going extreme here with the idea of starting a hospital business, right? Look at your hospital. You ever been to your local hospital? That's a business. And think in your mind, like, I could think big. Actually, yeah, let's think big. Like, let's think big. You're going to start your own hospital business. When you pass your local hospital, look at it and go, that's a hospital business. Everything's a business, right? Even though by proxy it can be a government agency, even though it's an independently owned thing, right, to some extent, right? I'm pretty sure laws have been passed where certain hospitals are required to do certain things by our government. So if you open your hospital, there might be some kind of unspoken law that says you have to work with government to some extent. Who knows? I know nothing about it, but I'm just picking that extreme to just try to make a point. Like you could buy some land, get it paved, build some buildings on it, and sell storage space. That's all those storage. You ever seen a storage place? Storage buildings? All somebody did was paved some ground, put some buildings on it, and started renting the units out. That's a business. An apartment complex is a business. That's a valid business, starting apartment complexes. Making and selling lemonade. You could literally make and sell your own lemonade if you wanted, and start a business, a real business out of it. So my point is, when you network as a young person, and you're in poverty, you get away from your impoverished environment, right? And you get away from people that don't share the same mindset, even though those same employees are unaware that the fun of it is they could do it. And in my case, the fun of it is, I don't know why I'm using that word today, but the fun of it is my coworkers looking back, who I used to work with, they could have started a business. I'm thinking of the theme park I worked at. Multiple people there lived with their parents, or they had some kind of special circumstance in life where they were good. And remember, stupid people start businesses. Even stupid people. Like some of the stupidest people I know, some of them have businesses now, right? So it's not this big, ambiguous thing that you can't figure out or something, right? Because you can figure it out. You can figure out you can figure it out, right? So if the stupid people of this world can simply say, "Oh, I'm going to start a business," and you know that they're stupid, they're unintelligent, but they're just so ignorant that they don't know that they're not allowed to fail, or they just don't know that society says they can't, then they just do it. And the next thing you know, they're walking into a bank and saying, "Hey, do y'all need cleaners? Do y'all need commercial cleaners?" You know, you could literally start a business, a cleaning business, without any money and without anything, right? Hold on. Yeah, so you could literally start a business cleaning, and you walk in, say on your next day off, you spend the whole day, you walk into a bank and you say, "Hey, are you guys satisfied with your cleaning company, right? Or are you satisfied with your cleaning company? Are they doing a good job? Well, I'm offering commercial cleaning," and that's all you got to say. You walk into a warehouse, say, "Hey, are you satisfied? Is there someone I could speak to? I'm just curious if you guys are satisfied with your cleaning person, cleaning company. Is there anybody I could talk to?" And they say, "Well, Sam is the guy in charge over that. You know, you'd have to speak to him." And then you ask them, are you opposed to, or would you do me a small favor and see if he's available to talk? Sam comes out, or he doesn't, but let's say he comes out. Say, "Hey, Sam, you know, are you satisfied with your cleaning business, your cleaning services?" And they'd be like, "Well, I mean, they do okay, but, you know, what you got? What's the name of your company?" And you could say, "My company is Starburst Cleaning Services." And right now some of you are like, "Oh, Billy, but you're lying. You don't have a business." The world is not real, y'all. Everything's an illusion. This is how reality works. So you call it Starburst, and then all you gotta say is "I have experience in cleaning." No, you don't say that. I'm sorry. You say, "Well, we do commercial cleaning, and we're just looking to pick up some new clients. Starburst Cleaning Services. And right now I don't have a business card, but can I leave you my information and get back with you?" And they say, "Sure," or whatever. Well, say you go all these businesses in one day, right? door to door. Is today a bad day for me to meet with someone regarding your commercial cleaning contract? You know, in general, right? There might be a gatekeeper, like a secretary or whatever. And so what you do is you just walk into places. And eventually, let's say that you walk in our warehouse and Sam goes, well, actually, we do need a new cleaner. Our guy just got thrown in jail. And our cleaning, the guy that owns the cleaning company that services our business just went to jail, and so we're gonna need new cleaners. So yeah. So there might be some circumstance that ends up something like that, you know. Either way, you ask them, what all do you require? Because we could provide you a contract or whatever. Is there a day we can meet so that we could talk about everything that you want done? Give us a tour of your place and show us everything that you would like done. And they say, sure, like you can come back Thursday. So you set up a schedule, you set up a time to come Thursday. And keep in mind, like, I know, again, some of you are saying, like, but Billy, you really don't have a real business. What are you doing? You don't have a real business. You don't have a business. What are you talking about? You know, living in the illusion, right? And so what you do is you go and you set up a time to go tour the place or whatever. And then you say, well, you go tour the place and say, okay, can I meet with you? You go see the place Thursday. You know, you tell them, look, I got to go get my paperwork or something like that. Now, if you already have all this stuff ready, then that's good. But if you're starting with nothing, right? If you're starting with nothing, like, you just have to do it this way. You can still just maintain a professional, you know, image about you. Be non-attached. Don't be desperate to get the account. Be like, okay, so look, so today you could explain to him, so today we toured the facility and I seen everything. I took note of everything you want down, and I'm going to write you up a quote for monthly services, or, you know, we'll come every week. Or every you know, whatever fits your need. You know, we'll come. If we come every night, if we come once a week, I'll go draw you up a quote, and so then you go draw them up a quote. If they accept the quote, you send it over to them. Send over an itemized list of everything you're going to do, and then you send that over to them. And so let me think. And they say, okay, yeah, let's do that. So now you've got business, right? You're in business. You got your first commercial account with your cleaning, Starburst Cleaning, right? And then and, you know, this is a hypothetical, right? And then so then what you do is at that point you go then get your business license. Go purchase your business license. If you need to get an LLC or file for a sole proprietorship, however you want to do it, you could just, there's contracts, there's pre-made contracts on the internet now that you can download. Just look up commercial cleaning contract for customer, and you could just find a generic cleaning contract, fill in the blank kind of deal. I mean, shoot, you could probably go on AI now that I'm thinking about it, and Get the AI to write you up a cleaning contract and list all the services that you're going to provide. I never even thought about that up until this point. And so now you get your business license, your LLC or whatever. Go call Hiscox Insurance. I know the name. It's HISCOX. And tell them that you want basic commercial cleaning insurance for your small business. My insurance is $40 a month. So I don't know how much a cleaning business would. And you just pay your business insurance. And now you're in business. When you get paid, set aside 30% to go to taxes and stuff. Keep track of any of your expenses, like if you're going to go to Home Depot or a cleaning supply store. Like, they have commercial cleaning supply stores where you can buy commercial grade cleaning products, and then like if you're a business, you can get discounts on things, right? You can get discounts on what you call it? Sorry, I'm trying to. You can get discounts on. I got distracted for a moment. You can get discounts on cleaning supplies if you got a contractor account with the. In fact, that cleaning supply store may not even sell to you unless you have a cleaning business. Because some salon products, there's some stores they won't sell to you unless you are a registered, licensed cosmetologist, right? So yeah, that's the way it goes. So that's an example. And now you're in the cleaning business. And then, like, say, like technically, you could start a business, right? You tell a person, like, say you're working full time at your job, assuming that your job pays you enough to live on, right? And let's say it assumes that it pays you some extra money too, right? You can recruit someone else to go do this for you. So say that, you find a college student and you tell them, hey, you don't have to tell them that you don't have a business on paper. Let's say that you don't have a business on paper, and you say, hey, invest a few dollars, right? I mean, hypothetically, I mean, this is easier said than done, but I'm just saying, this isn't impossible, right? It's just an example of what you could do, right? Find a college age student, and tell them that you're going to pay them for 8 hours total to go around town to businesses, walk into business. But Billy, they got no soliciting signs. You're gonna go to jail for soliciting. You're gonna put someone in jail. Yeah. No, you're not. Most likely, you're gonna walk into that, because I've done this. Like, I've door knocked, right? You're gonna walk up to the damn freaking warehouse or whatever, and someone's gonna greet you at the main office and be like, hi, I got a cleaning company. I was just curious if you're satisfied with you don't even have to say I got a cleaning company. You say, I'm just curious if you're satisfied with your current cleaning company, and if you're looking to see if I could help out if you need any help. That's all you're just helping somebody. That's all you're doing. So you teach this to, like, the college student, right? And you tell them, look, I'm Carl. You tell the college student, hey, I'm Carl. I own Starburst Cleaning, and I'm gonna pay you $100 to go out today or at whatever amount but make it worth their time. I'm just saying, hypothetically, technically, you could do this, right? It's hit or miss. It's a gamble in this sense. But if you actually were to do this long term, it could help. Actually, but that person's your salesman. You say, I'm gonna pay you $100 today to go find these accounts. If I get an account, I'm gonna pay you like 10% of the sale for getting. I'm gonna pay you 10% of the accounts. From the first commission, right? Or from our first cut check, I'll give you 10%. So let's say that you got an account for $1,000 a month. What would that be? Like 10% of that? Would it be like $100? So you pay them a base pay and say, if we land the account, I'll throw in some extra money for you. That's all you gotta say. So that college kid goes out. You don't even have a business yet, and I don't even know if this is legal, right? So this is for entertainment purposes only. And this is not advice. This is just my hypothetical thing. But basically, technically, like, you could do that, right? Pay some kid, like, while you're at work, pay them to go locate accounts, right? And all they got to do is walk in and set up the meeting with you, right? And then you plan for a time where you can go meet up with the people from that business and go take a tour and then set up a contract with them. That's just an idea, right? But let's just say you don't do that, right? Take a day off. Look for business accounts. Same with landscaping, man. Walk into a business. Hey, you satisfied with your landscaping? I did that years ago at Starbucks, and they said that you gotta bid for a contract with them. You gotta put in your bid, right? I've never had a commercial account, even though I did a commercial place once. I've never actually had a commercial account myself, but somehow you gotta submit your bid. But I'm just not, technically I'm just not. I mean, maybe at this point moving forward, at some point, maybe I could start merging myself into that arena. But at the same time, and that is where the money's at, really. That's where the real money's at, not necessarily in residential, even though residential is a good way to start, right? And so, yeah, residential is a good way to start in the landscaping business. You could go. I've never had any. I've heard stories about people getting the door slammed in their face or being rude or whatever. People being rude to them. But I've never had that happen to me, knocking doors. Now, I have not been able to go out and knock doors, but I look at other people that I know and I'm like, these people, they could easily just go knock doors and like start businesses, right? Like, people I know have it made. Like, so I know other people can do way more than, like, I've watched people surpass me because they're just in a better position in life than me. And the vast majority of people could surpass me in doing business, right? But if you're poor and you don't have a network, and you know your network, like, if you come from the small town atmosphere, don't bring any of your thug shit, like small town gangster, like, yeah. Like, I was curious if you want your lawn mowed, yo. Oh, you don't? Fine then, bitch. I'm gonna rent me an RV and hit up the chemistry high school chemistry teacher. Yeah. Like, don't do the thug, like, don't show up smoking, even though smoking is mainstream. People still have this idea that smoking is this thing that, you know what I'm saying? Be professional. Just get away from the poverty community. You know, let them figure out their own life. You know, don't let them pull you down or your employee-minded peers. I was about to say earlier, it's like there's a segregation, like, you know, there between people that think of self-employment and business building. There's a type of segregation where that exists where because the mindset is so vastly different, right? You know what I mean? The mindset is so vastly different, and it sucks to even have to say the mindset is different, because it's just a matter of formal education on the matter, right? You know, you just got to learn what business really is and how reality actually works, right? So, God, that's a beautiful truck. I gotta show y'all this truck. Traffic light. No, don't look at that truck. That's a nice truck. That's a nice Chevy. That's a nice big rig right behind me. That's a big rig. Same color too. It reminds me of Brave Star. Or no, not Brave Star. But Mask from the 80s, the cartoon Mask. Love that show. I always wanted that big truck when I was a kid. I wanted that big truck. Anyways, man, that's such a nice truck, that Chevrolet. Anyways, so yeah, main point is start networking around people that are into business if you can. If not, then network with higher earning people that live outside of your socioeconomic level. As long as you're a good person, or trying to be a good person anyway, and you present yourself relatively normal, you know, go out and meet up with people that are not from your socioeconomic level. A lot of poor people think that people with a lot of money or higher upper income people are like, they think they're better than the poor people, or they think that they're like snooty, and while those people really do exist, and I've met them, I have people in my family that are like that, but there are also just a lot of people, it's not their fault that they were born into the privilege that they were born into, and they see reality through the lens of that's just being reality in their world, in their reality. That's just life to them. So they never. I've met some pretentious upper middle class people, but I've also met a lot of like kind people that good connections to have. And it's through building that network of the people that are better off is where your abundance is going to come, because that's where your network is going to get built from, with, you know, associating with more people who have more and being of contribution to them through your services. You may not end up becoming friends, but at least they will open the door for you to help improve your position and everything, right? So anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. And I guess I'll stop the video as soon as I pull up to where I'm headed. And yeah, I think that's what we'll do. And in the meantime, until I stop, appreciate you watching and or listening. And I'm thinking, while nothing crazy has happened to me, right? Nothing crazy big, except the only crazy big thing that's happened right now is like the thing with the truck, right? So that's a crazy big thing. But what I'm saying is, like, I'm showing an example. I'm backing up what Kirk says, is like, by networking, by being involved with people, like by building your network up. If you don't have one, then you are improving your life exponentially by building your own business up and stuff. Anyways, yeah, I'm here where I'm at, where I'm gonna get dinner, and we'll see y'all.